Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us this moment. It is brunch time with Mayegun. Godfather is Economic hardship in Nigeria is because of the sins of Nigerians. And this is just a trial from Allah. Now this mofo on your screen said that is the Jigawa state governor. And yes, Nigerians should pray and seek forgiveness from Allah instead of protesting. If them born you well, come out and protest. You will meet the strongest, harshest, and most violent resistance of your lives. The guy on your screen is Tifnumbu's media aide. He talked yesterday. The thing don't turn to threats now. In Kano, yesterday, they were sharing 1,500 naira to mobilize people. Their job is to make sure that anywhere there is a protest in Kano, they must crush it for 1,500 naira. Today, again, I want to apologize ahead, okay? Because we won't be reading, the white malice again because of time. But who knows? If I can wrap this all up within an hour, then maybe I can, seize another half an hour to read part of the white malice. So thank you so much for joining me this moment. And good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you once again. It is brunch time with Mayegun. In Nigeria right now, like I said last night, the people are confused. The government is confused. And the whole confusion is simply because the people want to hold those in government responsible. Stand up and, be alive to your responsibilities. But rather than listen to them or even show a sign that indeed they are concerned and they have some empathy for what their policies have done to you, rather, they are not interested in any sort of talk because they do not have answers to your demands. So as Nigerians are mobilizing across the country for the day of rage, 10 days of rage that could lead to 1 whole month of rage. It's been scheduled. The people organizing this are doing so on and offline. The government of Tifnumbu, the failed regime of Tifnumbu, that is not ready to take any responsibility. Initially, they started with the propaganda of gaslighting the people. Then they went on to try to, blackmail the people. Then when that didn't work, they resorted into threats. And like I said, as the days draws closer and closer, you're going to be seeing more threats and threats and threats. All of these are just going to be coming from people who can't do shit. Like they can't do anything. They cannot do anything without those they gave guns to, hoping that once they shoot you, and then that is it. So a Jigawa governor, this guy, yesterday was talking to his people in Jigawa. And as their governor, Jigawa state is one of the poorest states in Nigeria. This mofo told his own, the people of his own state that the reason why Nigeria is facing economic hardship is because Allah is trying Nigerians. Okay? And the reason why Allah is trying Nigerians economically right now is because Nigerians have gone astray. In fairness, is there any time that your criminal politicians are not either pushing you to Allah or pushing you to God or Jesus, Abi? As they invest so much money in religion, just last year, just this year, in the face of austerity, Tifnumbu and his gang, they gave out over 400 billion naira so that people could go and stone Shaitan in Saudi Arabia and pray for Nigeria as well. There is no year. Tifnumbu alone gave 90 billion naira. 90 billion. There was nowhere that they spend that same 90 billion on any facility or healthcare facility in Nigeria. Never, nowhere. But yeah, you are still not closer to God enough. This Allah, this God, for some reason, he just decided to punish you with economic hardship. Okay? It's even if Tifnumbu is doing everything, it won't show. You need to go and apologize to Allah. Waiting will come be your apology. This is how this Olori Brukus who have the, like you have Nigeria, you have some mini Nigeria. Inside Nigeria, they are called states where you have some mini mofos, dreadful mofos that are also misruling and greatly contribute to the destruction of the lives of the people. And they are so quick to shout on God. Oh dear, God is so, like it is so fast on their lips. Waiting concern God with you, waiting concern Allah with you, that Allah will suddenly just feel like, oh, you see this country, I'm just going to punish them with economic hardship. There's nothing you do. Don't worry. You will just know until I change my mind, until you beg me. I hope you see his face, right? Mark his face. Here is another one. All of this, that one is a little bit manageable. Look at this guy that cried on television at the APC, Egbekegbe's Congress, because they told him to step down for Benduikun, Dayo Israel, as the youth leader. And he got rewarded as a social media aide to Tifnumbu. Now, these are the guys responsible for mobilizing people on social media. The people that are spreading hateful rhetorics, divisive messages. This is the guy, one of them, responsible for that, recruiting people online. Now, he himself can no longer hold it in. He jumped on his social media yesterday and said, maybe because everything they plan seems not to be kind of going according to plan. I don't know. But for somebody who is a special advisor to the president of a country to go on social media and threaten the people who are planning to stage a nationwide economic hardship protests. The one that they decided to hold their public office holders responsible, at least for once, which he himself is part of. He went on social media and threatened them. You go see the level of resistance. Who are those who are going to resist the demand for good governance? The people that they have weaponized the poverty for and always available to be recruited for a moment like this. They were in Kano yesterday. In fact, they've been in Kano, not just Kano, they've been in northern Nigeria. They've been there for the past 2 weeks. But you know something? These last 2 days, from Sunday, they were sharing 1,500 naira. 1,500 naira. And they were writing names. These are the people, as all of you are sending messages. Are you okay with the way this country is? Are you happy with the way the things are? Blah, 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 everywhere. Mobilizing yourselves. They are sharing 1,500 naira to Abokis, the northern Sharia north. They were sharing 1,000. And I use that word specifically and deliberately because they know their base. No doubt. Yes, there is poverty. Okay? Even in that northern Sharia north, we have those who they have managed through the the use of threats. If you disagree with us, we'll kill you. Doesn't matter whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, whether you are a Fulani or Hausa, doesn't matter. So there are those there that, despite the fact that they are also victims of the failed Nigeria, they want to talk. But the violent ones, mostly mobilized by their politicians, always go after them. But they are still there. You see those ones that are always unleashing violence. I call them the Sharia jihadist, Islamic jihadist from the Sharia north. Violent. They were there. They were recruiting them yesterday. I don't know how many, but good enough. Some of those people who benefited from the money they were sharing, they were actually planning to participate in the protest. Imagine collecting their money, telling them that you will join them in anti-protest. You are okay with the way it is right now. And that is why you started hearing some faceless group announcing that they were withdrawing. They were withdrawing. Nobody recruited you. Nobody mobilized you in the first place. You are never going to be part of it, right? So the money from the 500 million naira that Tifnumbu and his gang truck loaded there to northern Nigeria, they were giving them 1,500. Part of them had to upload that on social media. See the money they gave us so that we can stop the protest. So if you are going to help them stop protesting the South, you better make sure they pay you too. And from the northern Nigeria, ahead of this, empire is rising, no doubt. Here is a message for the police IG. Listen.
This one is a message to the IG of police. The IG of police, Federal Republic of Nigeria. This message is for you. You see this protest coming up on the 1st of August, 2024. Do your job. Do your job. And ensure that no police, your men, ensure that they are not carrying live bullets. You understand? Ensure they are not carrying live bullets. Because you know why I'm saying this thing? One person, if one soul by in this protest, one soul by, you see that policeman that will be responsible for that soul. One light to light, tamboro bazemu bishi hargidan shi muchukuru obanshi. Kana jini go one light to light, say the Allah. If one person go down, that policeman responsible for that soul, say the Allah, zemu bishi hargidan shi muchukuru obanshi. You understand? So this one is a peaceful protest and it's for everybody. Because we all are in this mess together. Everybody there inside this mess together. So do your job. Do your job. Nigerians are not going out to tumble Nigeria. We are going to demand for our right to save us. to save you too. You cannot say your salary cannot pay your children's school fees, cannot even buy you a bag of rice, cannot even buy a bag of gari, cannot even buy a bag of semo, and you are a police officer, and you are a military man, you be Air Force, you be Navy, you be civil defense, you dey serve this country, rain go fall for your head, sun, they shine, now your head, bandits they come, now you, thief they come, now you. At the end of the day, you cannot even afford a bag of rice. No be shame to you. I swear on my life, if you try and say one person go down under you, you be the highest. I'm not saying that you be the highest mumu, the highest mumu living on earth. But apart from saying the mumu, we go mark your face. We'll find him. We'll find him. And what he did to that person, we'll do it to him. This is not 2020. You feel me now? Everybody is in this mess together. Nigerians are going out to redeem it, to save this country from where this country has never been before. I'm telling you, travel out, go abroad and see Nigerians leaving Nigeria to go and become cleaners, to go and become a security men. I'm talking about barristers, lawyers, doctors leaving Nigeria to go to another man's country and be cleaners and be working in restaurants. All this is because Nigeria is in a mess. And who are responsible for this mess? You people, politicians. And I believe you two officers, police officers and co. You too, you admit that this country is in a mess. You know, your salaries cannot do anything for you. Your salaries cannot do anything for you. That is why most of you people have engaged in crime activity, committing crime. Nobody is seeing it. Your salaries cannot do nothing for you. You have 3 children, you can't pay their school fees with your salary. And you are working as a police officer. And you are a military man. That is why most of them they go into crime, committing crime. Now, Nigerians will walk out to the street to save you, to redeem you, to save your family too. You will go there because of one 10,000 they will give you after. You carry. If you do it, see, at the town now, every police and soldier at the town now. If you do them, if one soul go down, they will mark your face. You go mark your face. And you see that soul will go down, you go give account of that soul. So do your job. It's a peaceful protest. We are not going out to tumble Nigeria. No. We are going to demand our right. We are suffering. Nigerians are suffering. You too, as a police officer, you are suffering. Your salary can do nothing for you. I bet you. You know, every now and then, a policeman is arrested, caught in kidnapping, in armed robbery. A soldier man is arrested, caught in this or that. A civil defense is caught in this. All because your salaries can do nothing in Nigeria, the country that you serve, the country that you are ready to give your blood for. So make sure as you are going out there, I see you people are 10 steps ahead. Preparing ahead of something that is still 10 days old. You guys are already putting out these things to scare Nigerians from protesting. We are protesting. And I'm so pained. I'm ashamed of so many bloggers or so many of these, what they call it, influencers that had 3 million, 4 million. All they know is content. This. It is now.
Keep on. So that was it. And there are many like that. I know some of you will be like, now so that they make mouth, all this mouth, all of that. Okay. It's okay. But what you do understand is that it is actually not about the person that is on your screen making that mouth. It is the fact that there are tens of thousands that possibly feel like him too. You don't see their faces. They didn't put camera on their faces to say, you IG. I have seen where politicians have been rescued from angry constituents in Nigeria. Some of them got beaten, rescued by policemen. Some nearly lynched in the last 1 year. Yeah. And I've seen where when people had a chance of showing their rage and anger against these criminal politicians, they've always gone for the broke, like, And you can tell that this whole rage, anger, bitter frustration, all these things, has been so bottled up in many Nigerians, and they will do exactly that. And it's not the only person saying it. Don't kill anybody. We know what you normally do. We know how you normally do. If you do it this time around, it will be enough to provoke us into the next stage that nobody knows. So yeah, you can say, oh, no, I'm out, John. I know they believe, though you don't have to, but you will never forget that you heard this, right? Still talking about trying to pacify the North. Hear this one, oh. Here. Somebody who spoke to the journalist inside the Old Rock villa yesterday. He said he is the guy in charge of the student loan. Emagbo. And from what we know, the southern Nigeria is educationally more advantageous than the north, because the northern Nigeria, by design and intention, is educationally backward, even in 2024, right? Scammer Tipnumbu and his gang, those ones who have been telling you about a student loan, Abi? They just came out now. They said, in their ways of trying to pacify the North, they said, you Southerners, you do not believe in the student loan. Because now they too know. People, they tell you, say, make you no accept them. But guess what? Northerners are benefiting so massively. But if you ask her making show figures, now audio. All of this to pacify the North and make them feel like, see, President Tinubu is taking care of you. Listen.
It wasn't necessarily obvious to everybody. Essentially, if I just give a little bit of background, when students apply for these loans, they have the opportunity to apply for two types of loans. One is the loan that pays their educational fees. If that is approved, the funds are sent directly to the institution. What you witnessed today was institutions collecting checks for the multiple people who applied for the loans. So one institution taking a check might be taking the check today for 40, 50, 60, 100, 1,000, 2,000 people. So that's what the institutional check represented or represents. So it's a check that covers the multiplicity of students that actually applied and got the loan to go to that institution. What you witnessed when you saw the students going up to collect a check was the second half or the second part of the loan, which is an upkeep loan. So you apply for the institutional loan, your fees are paid, or you get approval for the fees being paid. You can then apply for a monthly stipend or for a stipend that covers your time there. That goes directly to the student if they are successful. So what you witnessed was that stipend being given as a check to the individual students. Just to clarify, one is contingent on the other. So you can't get the stipend unless your fees are being paid and you're going to an institution. But you can get the fees paid and decline the loan for the stipend. So the students you saw today might well, their fees might well have been in the checks given to the vice chancellors. Thank you. In terms of the institution with the highest number of applications, I'm sorry I don't have those numbers at my fingertips here. But certainly, please get in touch with me and we'll be happy to give you that information. There are two questions there actually, or there are two things we're looking at. Yeah, I'm going to come to the zone. There are two things we're looking at there. One is the one with the highest number of applications, and then the one with the highest amount of funding that we need to give them. Because remember, the fees are variable from place to place. So that's information that we have. We have a lot of data. The zones, which the Lands President... Yes, yes. The zones with the highest and the segments of the institutions with the highest. So I can say to you that there's been the institutions in the north of the country have been very proactive at supporting and helping their students and in providing their data to us. So that's where the leaning is currently. But that's to be expected because they seem to be very well organized in terms of networking in the northern part of the country. In the southern part of the country, there's growing awareness and there's growing interest. And I think there's been a lot of skepticism generally. And I think the most skeptical part of the country is in the south. They question everything. Is it true? Is it real? Is it a scam? And I think, what you witnessed today with us actually starting this disbursement program is to say that this is not no fund, this is nil fund, right? And we're trying to ensure that people know that this is not, it's not a trick, it's not a game. Mr. President has backed this with cash, and we're going to disburse that cash. So I think we'll see the skepticism that you find mainly in the southern part begin to disappear when we start paying out. In terms of the three levels of institutions, the universities are the ones with the highest demand for the loans, more so and then I think it's followed by the polytechnics and then the teacher training colleges. And I think it's probably going to remain that way. The bias is going to remain that way. I don't know if I answered all your questions, but those are the...
Today we are excited. Nigerian students are happy that the dream come true. It was once a bill, becomes an art, and today is the presidential launch and disbursement to applicants. We are very proud of this. And we, as Nigerian students, will call it a new dawn in the education sector.
It wasn't necessarily...
They see the scam.